Okay. Back once again. And the camera's good, working good. Okay. Actually, let me turn my fan on. All right, I didn't get like anything done, but it's okay. It's, you know, this is gonna be slow, so we are going to basically redraw this one. I need to think how I want to do this. My plan is to just get a couple panels today. I'm pretty dang tired. I don't like that. I like the angle. 1 second. I was gonna rework this, but I'm looking at it. I'm not sure I want to. Well, part of me does want to in order to save room. I don't know. I think that angle is not bad. Let me think. This panel needs to get changed. Same with this panel. Let's alter the panels a little bit. That'll help me think this through a bit. We want this panel to be much shorter. How much shorter? Maybe not that much shorter. Actually, you know what? Maybe not shorten that panel up. We'll see what we can do. Hold on. Let me go back to the thumb. Let's rework the thumbs first. That'll be a little easier. So I need to redesign them anyway. Alright, so let's grab... Not you. Grab you. Boy, I hope I can... Come on. Man, I am off today. I've been off this whole week. A second. Hmm. Okay, what do I want him to be doing? I want him to be just like almost like flailing. Yeah, we'll go with that, I suppose. Alright, let's see what we can do here. I mean, after I get this page done, this page may take a little extra effort, but it'll be good to get it done right. That's a rough pencil. I need a tilt pencil. That panel's fine. We're gonna, for the most part, just keep it the same, and then Let's see. I might work on the handle a little bit more. How does the... Okay, it's wrapped around. Hmm. Oh, this is all kinds of wrong. All right. If he's like that, then he needs to be further back. Actually, you know what? So I like to break. Like to break the panel. Probably still working a little too fast, honestly. Kind of a mode you can get into. Oh, whoops. This head's a little too big, actually. Okay. Actually, I like the way that breaks. That'll look cool. That won't make much sense, so. I gotta remember he has a really long thumb because he has 2 joints in his thumb, opposed to 1 like us. But it's not quite that long. Like that. Yeah.
Should record everything I say. Put it on. But yeah, go ahead. It's not what the 3 people that listen to your music are gonna hear me on your track.
Hmm. Let's see. Go taper down. Let's go with that. Been going for about 44 minutes. Let's go ahead and do the lining of these two. I do need to... Yeah, okay, that is there. Alright. Oh, I forgot that. Okay, well, that's easy enough. So, rough pencil. When this page is done this week, it'll be a huge burden off of me. Because holy crap, has this page been like plaguing my mind for a long time. Come on. Hold on. It's bigger than that. Not really happy with the pinky here. Oh man. Oh man, I just want this page to be over. To be done. I still got two more panels after this. 3 more panels actually. Jeez. Hey, what's up, Jordan? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing alright. Just getting work done on a quiet day here. Trying to see how much I can get done here. And let me see. Yeah, this guy's not doing too good. I don't know if his legs work anymore. Hello, Guilty Gear. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, no, for sure. Hopefully it'll work a little bit better this time. Yeah, I'll try to throw something together. Heck, it'd be fun to get some more people on. But man, that was fun last time we played. Holy cow. I forgot how much fun that game is. It'd be funny to get to bust out my legacy machine as well and install Unreal Tournament on that. I think that would probably work if I ran it on XP and just hosted the server. Which reminds me, I need to do something a little bit more permanent for the server. Just go for it. Why is his hand so big? Because he was made with big hands. It's kind of something that golems have. They have these really great big mitts of hands. Oh, I forgot to do his skin there. This is probably maybe a little bit big, but eh. Sometimes it's hard to fit 5 fingers on a hand, so I make it a little bit bigger. That's another reason why his hands are so big, is that he has 5 fingers. And that extra finger takes up space. It's the latest version. Yeah, like, hopefully that's what the problem was. Hopefully it was just, you know, needed to be updated, essentially. Which is funny to say. It's like, oh yeah, just update Unreal Tournament 1999. It's really funny when I was getting the server up and running. I came across a video from 2008 or something like that. That was like, yo, here's how you set up a server on Unreal Tournament. And hey, lo and behold, it's still relevant. That's exactly how it works still. That's another thing I need to fix. Hopefully I have, but I've been playing Helldivers a lot. And my GPU has been turning itself off. It's been just shutting down, and it's not a heat issue. I'm like 99% sure it's not like an overheating issue. Because like I've been monitoring my temps and stuff like that. But people are wondering me know how to set up a server and stuff. Care about the game. Yeah. No, I'm always, man, like I can set up a server. I can, you know, mess with config files and all that kind of like entry level techie stuff and whatnot. But man, the people who like keep this stuff running, I think that it does help that like the source code is available and stuff like that. Not that like I would be able to do anything with it myself, but man, like some people like go above and beyond. I love all the different like decomp projects that are coming out and stuff like that, the decompilation projects. I'm super excited to see where the Jack and Daxter one goes. Like I gotta play some like custom maps and stuff like that have been coming out. It looks so sick. It's so cool that like, you know, people have gone out of their way to reverse engineer, not only reverse engineer the source code essentially, but reverse engineer a proprietary scripting language, right? Something that only Naughty Dog back in 2003 or whatever, or 2000 or 1999, whenever they started working on it, knew about. Like they're the only ones, right? And it wasn't really used that much longer, right? Like I don't think Goal, which is the scripting language that the Jack series uses, was used much outside of the Jack series itself. Maybe it was like rolled into some other tech when they did other things, but like I've never really heard of them doing anything else with it. Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy. It's crazy that like there is stuff that, you know, I used to dream about as like, you know, Jack and Daxter multiplayer or Ocarina of Time friggin', you know, co-op or something like that, you know. Things that were just so utterly impossible when these games came out. Just like, no way, right? There was just no way it could ever happen. And now it's like almost expected. It's like, yeah, there's an old retro game. Yeah, there's probably a co-op mod for it now at this point, if it's popular enough. You could almost just count on it. How does Mass break? He got hit in the face really hard. By this guy. They're not friends. The reason he's clutching his chest is because this guy tried to shoot him, and he didn't like that. Sounds kind of not Zelda. I mean, yeah. But it's fun to mess around with. I don't know. It like you're totally right as far as like the proper way to experience a Zelda game is a single player experience. But like, you know, after you've beaten the game, you know, half a dozen times or so, you know, it's fun to shake things up. I actually, though, wouldn't mind if they did a mainstream, like actually, like, in the next Zelda game, did a co-op system. Like, I honestly think where you play as, like, Sheik or something like that. Honestly, I just want a Sheik game. I want to be a ninja in Hyrule. That'd be cool. Which they did make Echoes of Wisdom, so, you know, we do have an official, not CDI game where you play as Zelda, which is fun. And there were actually plans to do a, like, game where you play not as Sheik, but as a Sheikah. Rookie, only half a dozen rookie numbers. Honestly, I need to get back into this. I still need to beat Link to the Past. I'm on the final dungeon. I just need to beat it. I always do that with games, though. I get to, like, the final level, and then I'm just like, I'll get around to it. And then I don't. That and Majora's Mask. I need to beat Majora's Mask as well. I'm okay with not being Skyward Sword, honestly. But those are the only like main series games I really need to sit down and beat is Majora's Mask and Link to the Past. I could go back and, well, okay. As far as like the main like console releases and stuff like that, the original Zelda would be fun to go back and beat at some point and just do it. I have the game. I should just do that at some point. Shoot, what was I saying? Saying something, and then I got distracted. You distracted me, guilty. How could you? Oh, yeah. There was a some concepts done for a Sheikah game, and it looks really cool. The art looks actually kind of amazing and really ahead of its time, like seriously ahead of its time. It's nuts, man. That concept art looked crazy. Have I heard of ATVs, all-terrain vehicles? Yeah, used to when I would hang out with my uncle up on some property they had, we used to ride them around the property a lot. It was a lot of fun. Link to the Past is a pretty good one. Good boss battles. It does have good boss battles now that you mention it. Yeah, no, it's a Link to the Past is one of my favorite Super Nintendo games. Absolutely love it. Link to the Past was always one of those games where it was just like, it was just fun to run around in. I have really good memories of, like, you know, being a bit older, but like still a teenager, but working, coming home, putting on some Dunta Patrullen, which is a like a Swedish chiptune band, stuff like that, like turning it down really low on my sound system. And I had a projector, and I would just like play. I would come home from work and just play A Link to the Past into the night, man. It was so much fun. Such a good game. Just great for running around and exploring, and yeah, just totally that's the real kind of solidification of the Zelda style, honestly. Which I will say, I think that they did nail that, at least in Breath of the Wild. Like, it was fun running around in Breath of the Wild. You could really just stumble across things, which was really cool. That's what really kept me in that game. Because, yeah, the dungeons were, you know, samey and everything, which is disappointing. Like, it really... You gotta like up the game on the dungeons and whatnot. The best way I can describe A Link to the Past, honestly, like every Zelda game since Skyward Sword, which is like 3, I think, or something like that, not counting remakes or Echoes of Wisdom, because that's kind of its own thing. But the best way I can describe how Zelda kind of feels now is very, it's gonna sound funny, but very video gamey. And what I mean by that is, you know, obviously, yes, they're video games and everything like that, but playing something like A Link to the Past, yeah, there's gameplay elements, but they didn't take center stage. That wasn't really like the fun of those games, in my opinion. Like, same with Ocarina of Time. Like, Ocarina of Time is like honestly kind of like scuffed, right? As far as its gameplay goes, right? But it's still a really fun world to explore. It's a really cool like environment and just like, you know, all that kind of stuff, right? It's everything kind of surrounding it that really makes it fun, as opposed to something like Mario, where Mario's whole design philosophy is like gameplay first, right? It's like every level is designed in a way to like emphasize the gameplay. Zelda games didn't really feel like that. They didn't feel like they were gameplay elements kind of stringing you along, right? Until Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword is when it really started to feel like, oh, this is a gameplay element. I'm playing a game. I am, you know, it was kind of more front and center. What are his clothes made? His clothes are made out of... So he hunts worms in the desert, like these weird, like they're like roots, right? If you've ever dug up a root, like that texture, that's literally what the carapace of these worms is made out of. And so he basically is able to take that and skin them and strip it and turn it into a fabric. So it's very coarse. The fabric is very coarse. But it doesn't it doesn't matter for him because his skin's so rough, right? But most of his, at least his poncho is that scuffed. As far as Ocarina of Time, like the gameplay in Ocarina of Time is scuffed. It's like, I mean, it was pioneering for like 3D elements and stuff like that. So it's got this like jank to it, right? Not bad. It's not like bad gameplay necessarily, but it's odd, right? It doesn't feel like you know how you like in a Mario game where it's just like, okay, they put emphasis into the controls, they put emphasis in the jumping because that's what you do primarily, right? This is like, okay, we have a character mover, it works, move on, build the world, you know, build the dungeons, build the puzzles, right? Focus on the things that really matter, right? As opposed to like, okay, let's really make sure the movement's like super tight because that's what you're going to be doing the most of, right? And on the note of puzzles, like the puzzles felt very like, yeah, they were puzzles and stuff like that, but they felt integrated really well. Like you just stumbled across it in the world, right? That wasn't how Skyward Sword felt, in my opinion. Skyward Sword felt like it was designed for me as the player, not designed by someone long time ago, you know, kind of thing, right? And same thing with like Breath of the Wild, only it kind of wore it on its sleeve a lot more, where it's like, oh, here's the challenges and blah blah blah, right? And I don't have to shoot me out. Yeah, no, I love those games. Like, don't get me wrong. Heck, I love the gameplay, even the more inconvenient elements of like Majora's Mask. It's like yeah, like the timer can be annoying, especially in a Zelda game where it's like exploration stuff like that. But it's such an interesting texture to the experience, like having to manage your time and like the commitment of it and all that kind of stuff. It's like, I actually am a fan of inconvenient design in the right context, where it's like you need to actually like make a decision, right? Because it's going to have consequences. So like a really good example of that, I've been getting back into like Dungeon Siege, right? The game Dungeon Siege, and the way that game is, it's a Diablo-like, right? So it's a dungeon crawler, although it's very different in terms of how it plays, basically the way that game works is you are out in the field for a really long time. I mean, it's just a straight line basically through this environment, right? And you go and you kill things and you delve into dungeons and blah, 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 and it's really fun, right? Well, you can, in theory, go all the way back to old towns and stuff like that if you want to and whatnot. But if you do, there's no warp back. You have to walk all the way. But I like that because it's like, okay, we're in a big world. You know, we can't just conveniently, boop, 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 here's a portal, we go back, we come back, you know, kind of thing. Really convenient for the player, blah, 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 blah. And so, like, that's kind of, I guess, what I'm talking about when it's like, you know, those older Zelda games feel like they're not made for you as the player. You're just having to, like, experience the world, you know. That's why even like Wind Waker, you know, it's like, oh, you have to always set the wind and stuff like that, but it's like, yeah, but that's part of the process. You have to, like, you know, use the wind, you know. I actually kind of like that, you know. Why was I not on yesterday? I had work yesterday and an appointment today, so I took today off to go to the appointment, and so I just rolled my day that I was streaming to today. So it's not going to be the standard. I'm going to be going back to streaming on Monday as the typical. But just for today, I decided to stream on Tuesday. I don't like streaming on Tuesdays, honestly. It tends to be a lot more quiet. People seem to be a lot more busy on Tuesdays and unable to stop by, which is always a bummer. But yeah, so that's why. It's just a temporary thing. Played it with the guy like me. I will admit, here's kind of the one thing with Majora's Mask is it does feel like it's a better game the more you know it, right? So when you actually know it, you don't have to worry so much about, like, well, I don't know where to go, blah, 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 blah. And so it can be kind of overwhelming at first. But once you get into it, yeah, once you embrace it and, like, come up with a plan and stuff like that and just execute the plan and whatnot, that's what it's really about, right? I think that's why, like, speedrunners like it so much, because, like, obviously, like, speedrunning is its own thing when it comes to a game. It really changes how you play a game in general. But it's almost kind of a natural speed, like it has speedrun tendencies with DNA within it, right? Just naturally because of its nature, right? You only have so many hours in the day to beat the game, kind of thing, right? So you kind of have to, like, learn how to route. You have to think about where you're going next, blah, 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 you know, all that kind of stuff. And elements like that are kind of cool. Like, they're very different, right? Like I said, you know, it's that inconvenience you have to, like, go up against. And so it's like with, like, Wind Waker, for example, you know, it's like, oh, I have to change the wind. It's like, well, you can kind of plan ahead. You can think to yourself, okay, if I set the wind here, it's more straight on, but if I set the wind, like, slightly to the, you know, more northerly or north southerly or something like that, then that sets me up to go to this island, so I can hit that island on the way back and I don't have to worry about, you know, playing the song again, right? So it's, I don't know, it's fun little things like that, fun little mechanics like that you're able to just play with. So I do think that, like, you can make a game too convenient. It's too, like, trying to appease you and, like, not get in the way and be like, oh, no, don't worry, you know, you don't have to worry about that. Like, we'll just do it automatically, you know, kind of thing. It's like, oh, okay, but that's a part of the experience you're cutting out now, right? Kind of thing. And I would say that for the most part, like, Breath of the Wild did a pretty good job. I have a kind of a love-hate relationship, though, with just fast travel in general, because I feel like fast travel is one of those things where it's like, it's almost just too convenient. I've played games where I just don't fast travel, and it's a lot slower, but it's also a lot more fun because like you have to like, okay, we're gonna head north or whatever. Especially like multiplayer, it's like really chill because you're just like hanging out and like traveling and whatnot. I think it's a big reason why the game Vintage Story, which is basically just like where you're it's like a hardcore Minecraft kind of thing. You have to like really take your time to do things. Is kind of taking off because it has that design philosophy. There are some BS design choices in Majora's Mask. Oh yeah, definitely. Then I feel totally bad about it. You know, when you hit the canyon area. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's definitely like, I mean, that's what happens when you design a game like way too fast, right? You can't like, because there's a balance to it, right? You can't make it too inconvenient, otherwise it's just annoying, right? You don't want it to be annoying. You want it to be engaging, right? But that's a kind of a thin line at times. Actually, I think that, man, like as much as people like bash Wind Waker for its travel and stuff like that, I think that did a really good job of like, because I played through it on stream a number of years ago now, and I had a blast playing the original with just like, you know, you're going around, and even like the Triforce quest and stuff like that, the treasure hunt one, it was fun for me because it's like, it was maybe a little bit long, but like, it was fun going on a treasure hunt, you know, around the whole area, you know, the whole map. Few teleport spaces and a horse, yeah. And generally speaking, it's not a massive map and stuff like that. Twilight Princess also, I think, did really good as far as its fast travel and stuff like that goes, generally speaking. Because there was enough warps that you didn't have to like ride everywhere, but but enough space that it was for the most part good to or convenient to ride up and down everywhere. World was also designed really well. Yeah, no, genuinely, like honestly, like there's not a single Zelda game where I can say like, yeah, I didn't like the world, except for Skyward Sword. I didn't care for the world of Skyward Sword. It just felt too like, I've already gone over that, so I won't go over it again. But yeah, that's the only one. Otherwise, like yeah, no, Wind Waker has a great world, just tons to explore. You know, all the fun islands and stuff like that. Ocarina of Time is super fun. Like, yeah, it's empty or whatever, you know, the Hyrule Field and whatnot, but it's still a really fun world and everything. Majora's Mask is a great world. Twilight Princess, like a lot of people say, oh, there's nothing to explore, stuff like that. Like, then you didn't explore. There was tons to explore. You know, side paths and little things and stuff like that. Like, there weren't a bunch of like random mini games and side quests to do and stuff like that. There are a few. I think that there were enough, right? Because honestly, like the going from one dungeon to the next was enough for me. Like that was, you know, plenty. Because otherwise it was just fun to ride around and discover little caves and you know, find what's in there and stuff like that, instead of just like doing some idiot's lame quest or something like that, you know, 5 billion times. I'd rather have that. I don't enjoy games where it's just like, oh, you stumbled across another quest and like, you want to go do this? It's like, no, I don't. I just want to run around and find things. I want a game where there's not really a main quest line where it's like, oh, you need to go to this point and then you can do the main quest. I want a game where it's like you just wander around, stumble across things, and it's just super organic, right? and that's the main story essentially. Is you kind of build up your like legend or your story and stuff like that, and maybe you get involved in things like deeper things or whatever. But it's not a series of cutscenes. It's not like, oh, I am Hero Man, I need to go do this thing. It's like, okay, I guess we're doing this, you know, and it's kind of your choice, right? It's kind of multiple choice. I think you could totally do it. I think there's ways of doing that nowadays. It doesn't have to be super deep. There doesn't have to be a bunch of voice. It's just make it kind of organic. The way everything connects is well thought out. Forest connects to Death Mountain and Zora's River. Yeah. Yeah, honestly. All right, that one, the panel's done. That is pretty like gnarly. he's not having a good time. But yeah, no, you can tell a ton of thought was put into Ocarina of Time's level design and whatnot. Heck, it's really interesting seeing like the beta maps and stuff like that. The way they were designing the initial early maps was a lot more like what you would find on like a Super Nintendo game, right? Where everything's really flat and spaced out, and you know, you go from one thing to the next kind of thing or whatever, right? They were building it much more like an actual like kind of arena space. And you could tell that like as time went on, their design philosophy changed as they were playing around with 3D environments. It's like, well, that stuff like that doesn't work, right? Because you're just running across a field for, you know, half an hour, right? Like everything's so spread out, everything's so big, you know. Or just like kind of repetitious, right? You can kind of get away with that on Super Nintendo because you're able to put little things here and there, and it's, you know, a different experience. It's a different point of view. Wayward Realms. I feel like I've heard of that. Yeah. Let's see here. So, under the direction of Ted Pearson and Julian Felipe, the developers of the team behind original Elder Scrolls Arena and Daggerfall. Okay. Los Lost Games is creating an open world fantasy RPG. That's always, as a side, that's always kind of a little bit of a, like, I never know what to really make of it when it's like, oh, these original game creators kind of thing. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it turns out horribly. Like, you look at like friggin' Mighty Number 9 for like an extreme example. But even like Yooka-Laylee, it's like, oh, it's the original Banjo-Kazooie team. It's like, that's cool. It doesn't really mean much though, you know, like it doesn't mean as much as people, I think, make it out to be. I mean, it's marketing, but whatever. Anyway, where choice and consequences are experienced on a scale never attempted before. Okay. So, everyone's set in a group of over 100 years. Where scores of factions vie for influence and power. They're way bigger than most other games you can think of. Big cities with hundreds of thousands of NPCs. Wow, okay. They're coming soon. That's very, very... Hush your candy oh, that's the... One second, hold on. That's the trailer. Started autoplaying. What the heck? This song's getting weird. We have that familiar medieval fantasy live, particularly with a lot to learn from multiple news in the sky to the library's worth of books, multiple cultures of each race. Yeah, maybe. I mean, if it's... They do it, if they pull it off. The key is they just, like... It doesn't need to be super fancy. It just needs to play well, and be fun to run around in. That's all it needs to be. So, yeah, maybe. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll probably wish list that for the heck of it. Keep an eye on it. Thought it was the song too. Yeah. Time is it? 5:32. Is this still broken? Yep, it still is. That's annoying. I'll have to fix that. I don't know why it resets my settings. You know, there is a open source driver for tablets now, which might be worth it to look into. And it's even compatible with older drawing pads, which I have an older Bamboo Capture. Probably wouldn't use it really, but still cool that I can if I want to. But let's see here. Yeah, no, that's something, because like I was playing or I've been playing on and off Ghost of Tsushima, right? It's a really good game. It's very fun. The gameplay is really cool. I love the combat. It just totally nails that, like, you know, samurai movie feel, which I love. But it always happens with these kinds of games. I don't care about the main storyline. I don't care about going and doing quests and stuff like that. I just love wandering around and like finding stuff. Does that mean you can use the tablet you got over 10 years ago? Probably. Let me hold on. Hold on. Let me find it. Okay, I can link it actually. Very specifically. It was shared in a Discord. I'm in. Where was it? I think it was here. Maybe it wasn't here specifically. It was in. Yeah. Okay. Here we are. Okay, so here's it's a Blue Sky link. Well, okay, hold on. There's an actual site. Yeah, okay, open tablet driver. Okay, here we go. And it has stuff for Linux, which is really cool. Tsushima is a really fun samurai game. Yeah, it is. It's super fun. Okay, that didn't send to the right chat. Okay, whatever. But yeah, no, check it out. Obviously, I don't know the details in terms of like what's compatible and everything like that, but you can go through and probably find yours. But yeah, no, seems really comprehensive and seems like a good option. So definitely check it out. It might work. That's the thing, right? Like even a drawing pad from 10 years ago, you know, is still usable, right? So it's nice that there's, you know, open source stuff to handle it. Yeah. He's not double jointed in his fingers. His fingers have normal joints. Just his. Well, it should be. Or is this? This is index finger actually. So that means actually that. Try and see if it works without it. Yeah, I mean, it's worth a shot. You know, if you're on Windows, sometimes, you know, I mean, this camera thing or whatever, the drivers are from freaking 2002, right? So, and it still works. So, you might be able to get away, like, when you do, and if it doesn't work at first, try installing the drivers in compatibility mode. That might help. That might make it work. With like Windows 7 or something, whatever it was designed for. But if it doesn't, then look up and see if that if it's compatible with the open source drivers. Why is his neck so skinny? Because he was made that way. He got a skinny neck. That's not this. Oh, I forgot to do the, well, he doesn't have blood, it's something else. I'm not entirely sure what it's almost like tar. It's this weird kind of tarry substance. Yeah, he's hurting. He's not horribly injured, although he, you know, did take a bullet to the chest. But, he's hurt enough. All right, I don't know if I'll finish this panel today. We'll see. Part of me wants to, part of me doesn't. Part of me wants to just take it easy for the rest of the day. I do have a lot of work to do, but I've also just been exhausted, and I do have work tomorrow, so. But I have a lot of other work I need to do and whatnot, so that I'll need to get on top of here soon. Come on. Oh yeah, I was gonna try. Today would have been a good day to test low latency modding. I don't think I can change that, can I? Yeah, no, I can't, unfortunately. Maybe next time. I don't like to do that for more like standard streams, but I'll try to remember to test that. I might forget though. Am I done coloring the video? No, I haven't. I've been taking a little bit of a break from that, from the animation. I won't get around to that probably for a little bit. I've got a lot of other things I need to get to, so it'll be a little bit of time before I'm able to finish that up. I still need to figure out how I'm going to do it as well, so which I will. I have some ideas, but yeah, unfortunately, it's just going to take a little time, so. Don't expect an update too soon on that, but I will share it when there is something to share. So, and of course, when it's complete, I will be putting it up on the channel, so you get to see it. Yeah, unfortunately, like. It's very difficult to balance even just a couple projects. I wish I had more time. I would love to be able to like put way more time into things, but it isn't how things have worked out right now. So I've gotta be smart about how I do things. Plus, like I said, this has been a bit of an exhausting week. Even just starting out, like it was an exhausting weekend. So it's like. Kind of off to a little bit of a rough start. It wasn't a bad weekend. It was just tiring. I was just really tired from it. Speaking of tiring, I gotta determine, do I want to keep going or save it? $208, $551 right now. I can keep going. Let me check something real quick. Trying to choke him? Kind of, yeah. So he's wrapping a rope around his neck. But he has other ways of disposing of this guy. This is one of the more, this is so far like the most like intense part of the story. There's been some pretty tense parts before, but like this is like fair, like off the rails kind of stuff, you know. Getting kind of crazy. I can finish this panel. Let's finish this panel. It's not going to take that long. I do need to figure out what in the world this actually is supposed to look like. Let's see. Oops. Ironically, he probably would be hard pressed to actually, if he wanted to strangle this guy, to do it, because he has a metal neck, kind of like necklace kind of thing, kind of this ornamental thing, which I completely forgot to draw on him here. just that. Oops. What time is it there? It is 5:54, so not even 6 yet. Which is nice. Man, I just feel like time has been going by crazy fast. It's like the weekend went by super fast. Like freaking time is just like cruising. Yeah, it's hard to get things to slow down sometimes. $7:55? Yeah, not too late. The night is still young. It's not even night yet. So young, it's not even night. Ooh, this is cool. Who's this? Moxa made my day. kind of an old school, not acid, kind of acid, drum and bass. Hey, 50 versus everyone else is sharing. Yes, that good old East Coast time zone. I've talked about it before, but that's what kind of makes it difficult for streaming from the West Coast is, you know, by the time you get around to streaming, you know, like late in the day and stuff like that. Because usually I would start streaming an hour from now, right? But an hour from now, it's like everyone's asleep, you know, like the whole rest of the world is practically asleep, you know, aside from, you know, maybe Australia, New Zealand, and, you know, China and Japan and stuff like that. But like pretty much all of Europe, a lot of America is winding down and all that. So I wish I could start stream a little early. Technically, I could start stream as early as like 5:30, but I would have to go straight from work right into streaming, and it would just be a bit much. I like to have a couple hours to kind of just wind down a little bit from work and then get to it. Maybe one of these days I'll be able to stream a lot more. That'd be fun. We'll see. It'd be great to be able to do that, but I'll have to figure out how to change up my schedule to be able to do that. Can I show a picture of Grim? We can go dig it around and find some Grim for old time's sake. I probably will at some point because like a lot of people seem to really like those characters. I probably will do another like still piece with them over the course of a couple streams. Let me see what I can find here. We're almost done here. I'll wrap it up here soon. For background, we don't. That's not ground. Late night snack you guys have seen. This is an old one I did. Oh, that's also an old one. Oh, I don't know if people have seen this one. This one's fun. I really enjoyed making this one. I did this one for Halloween last year, I want to say. It was really fun doing it. Yeah, there's a Grem with a bunch of candy. And probably other things as well, like toothpaste and whatever. He doesn't really understand the concept of candy. Grim loves packing peanuts. Grim loves everything he can make a mess with. Garbage, packing peanuts, styrofoam. Think you remember it? Yeah. No, I shared it. I remember I shared it around. It was super fun. Maybe I'll share it around again on Halloween. It's always fun. Always a good piece. Then again, maybe I should just share more pieces in general. Because I haven't been posting very much. There's just not been a lot of like incentive to post because it just is like not really seen anywhere, you know? I don't really much care for Twitter. Honestly, I might just stop using it straight up. Honestly, there's not a lot of social media platforms in general I like using. It's just not fun. Maybe I'll just start posting on YouTube, be like, hey, here's some artwork. Just start treating that as my, like, art platform, you know? So if you want to see posts and stuff like that of fun art, and subscribe. Because otherwise, it's like, oh, you have to go on Twitter. It's like, yeah, I don't blame you if you don't want to. But everybody uses YouTube, so maybe I'll just start posting art on YouTube. Might as well, you know? Yeah, it's not a contest, but to Graham, everything's a contest. And he likes to win. Yeah, chill little dude, but he's competitive. It's a bit competitive. What is in the bag? Probably like sand and stuff like that. It's just meant for like weight, essentially. It's probably to like tie down sails or like other cloth and stuff. Just something there to weigh things down. Man, the best choice I ever made is making it so that his stupid feathers got knocked out of his headband. I was getting tired of having to draw those stupid feathers. That's a trick for you. If you don't want to draw something anymore, give a character an excuse to not have it anymore. Worked for Kishimoto with Naruto's goggles. He was like, I don't want to draw these goggles anymore. So he gave him a headband, which was way easier to draw. I will admit though, the goggles did look good. Yeah, there we go. That wasn't so bad. We need to... Naruto used to have goggles? Yeah, in like really early, like I think like the first chapter, like the first chapter. Kishimoto drew him with goggles. But then he realized, he's like, oh crap, I have to keep drawing this kid in his goggles. It's like, maybe I'll not do that. That's why that was a big design decision for Blind losing her mask. Was I didn't want to draw it anymore. I was like, yes, I don't have to draw that stupid mask anymore. Because keep in mind, I had to draw it for my animation as well. So I spent like 2-3 years drawing that stupid mask. It was the first mask that she had, where it's the kind of teardrop shape, and it had the shape of it wasn't so bad, although it was a little bit tricky in like perspective and stuff like that. But then it was like you had the little circles, and you could tell I've done this a lot because it just comes right back to me. And then you had the little divots, and then the reverse. It'd go up, and I had to match the perspective. I had to and I had to do this in motion, which is freaking dumb. I don't know why I did this. I don't know why I did this to myself. And then I had to count the individual lines. I think there was like 7 of them or something like that. And it was just like, oh, why am I doing this to myself? And yeah, and then there's the cheeks as well. So yeah. Kind of show what it looks like. Yeah, I can bring up some concept art and stuff like that. I have some really early concept art of her I made back in like 2020 before I knew how to draw like hands and stuff like that. If we go in here, I was even working on a turnaround for the mask that I never finished. I never did finish that. That's funny. I just started animating it, as I am one to do. That's some later concept stuff. Here's a really old animation I did of her. This was the first time I animated her, and man, it's funny to think how old this is now. But yeah. And this is before I knew how to animate. No, this came out all right. Very jittery. I was still really figuring out my line control and stuff like that. Still figuring out how to draw hands, how to animate everything. What else do I got? I have her concept art. her turnaround, and all the colors that I used in the textures and stuff like that. So yeah, this is how she used to look. I've really refined her look since then. There are certain things about her look, like if we go here, like I like the cloak and everything like that. I was really happy with the cloak. I wasn't super stoked about her like shirt. It wasn't my favorite. Oops. Then her eyes. I had to really figure out her eyes. But yeah, if I were to redo that, I would design her shirt. I'd give her sleeves. I think it was a mistake not giving her sleeves, but it worked out. That's what it is. So here's a fun little thing that's kind of a narrative design. If you look at her early design, like the way I draw her like early on in the comic compared to how I draw her now, she looks more human now. She looks like, originally I kind of designed her to look like she was like carved out of wood, or something like that, right? Because that's relevant to the themes and everything like that. And so it gives her this very artificial, very like carved, manufactured kind of look. But now she looks human. She looks humanoid, and her features and stuff like that are emphasized to look more human. And part of that was the fact that I just wasn't that good at drawing people back then, right? But I knew I was going to get better. I knew I was going to get better at drawing human characters and everything like that. So I said to myself, I was like, okay, well, I'll design her right now to be very like, human looking. But as time goes on, I'll get better, and I'll figure out how to draw her as a person, essentially. What's her name? Right, I just call her Blind. It's kind of funny. I have a tendency not to really name my characters. She does have a name probably, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm going to reveal her name or not at any point. I still want to, I'll figure that out eventually. That'll come later. But kind of the point of it is, you know, she's just known as Blind. That's just what she is. And I do kind of have a tendency to do that. I don't really name my characters a lot. And if I do, I like it to, I tend to name human characters just normal human names. I don't really get super fancy with it. I think it kind of, like, I don't really see the point. It's hard for me to like be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna name them something weird and strange, when it's like, well, what parent is gonna name their kid like something weird and strange, you know? Depending on the circumstance. Like if it's world building stuff, then like, okay, fair enough. But like, even then, it's like you know, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of when it's like, okay, clearly a writer was like, oh, I'm gonna name them something cool and blah blah blah, you know, and stuff like that. It's just like, okay, I guess. I don't really care for that. I don't really tend to do that. I like good names. I like strong names, but they have to fit. And so, yeah, I'm not sure yet. Well, yeah, her name is Blind. So when I'm talking about Blind, you know it's Blind. That's what I'm talking about. And this is the Fisher, and this is the Judge, and the Judge is going to no longer be a character who I'm going to talk a lot about. after the Fisher gets done with it. He's going to have a new name, 6 Feet Under. Actually, let's be real. He's not going to have a 6-foot grave. He's going to be buried out in the desert. All right. I think we'll call that there. I need to do like skin and stuff like that. So let me do that. But yeah, I mean, I give titles, I guess, to characters a lot. I always have a character have a title, so it's like, you know, there's a whole story that I have where none of the characters have names throughout it. They just have titles. So like one of the characters, one of the girls, like the main girl, she's just called Monster or something like that, because she dresses up as a monster to try to sneak into the woods. But you have like the Keeper. It's a title, right? It's, you know, part of what they do and stuff like that. So it's meant to kind of emphasize kind of the story element of the archetype. Won't have to draw him anymore. Yep. he showed up, he was a pain to draw, and then he got disposed of real quick. But don't worry, next chapter there's gonna be some characters that are gonna be a friggin' pain to draw. I just know it. Oh, it's gonna be so annoying. It's gonna be so tough. But I have to design them that way. Like it's narratively, like they have to look a certain way, and you'll understand when I get there, and especially when you read it. Just something to identify them. Oh yeah, no, I usually have something, but it's usually not like a name. It's usually just like, because I've done that before. I had a really kind of surrealist story that I was working on where it was just, yeah, characters had titles. It was, you know, you had the painter, you had the weaver, you had the No Land King and stuff like that. Which that story, the painter's story, as I was calling it, is actually where kind of the animated moon comes from, because the premise was you had this very surreal world and everything like that, and these characters living in it, but you had 4 moons surrounding, and the world was this platform. It's, you know, this flat world essentially, right? Suspended in space by these 4 moons, and one of them was actually missing. The West Moon was actually missing. It is a nuke. Oh boy! How I didn't get to see it, unfortunately. But how was? For those who don't know, Nuke is a streamer. Actually, I'm gonna give a shout out. I miss giving shout outs. I don't get to do that very much on Twitch. But yeah, Nuke was a streaming, and you were playing some Knight Rider. Yeah. So yeah, here's the channel. Go check him out over on the Twitch. But yeah, how was the Knight Rider? How was the David Hasselhoff and the driving around and the kit and the explosions? Finished it in less than 3.5 hours, and it was jank greatness. Very nice. You actually caught me right at the end of my stream, funny enough. I'm just kind of wrapping up, kind of like this guy's neck. I want to. Oh man, it is nice getting these panels out of the way, I will say. The next panel will be tough, but... Oh, I need to actually... Because it's on his right side, so it would actually... Like so... The bad guy was evil, huh? Did he have a goatee and everything? An evil kid car? That sounds amazing! Garth Knight. Oh, man. Oh, I'm kind of sad I missed it now. Tuesday, he's not even in the ground yet. He's gonna be real soon. Boy, hey, howdy. He's got a plan that's gonna put him in the ground lickety split. Heck yeah. He's gotta have the goat. You gotta have the evil soul patch and stash. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. That's like everything you want. That's like everything you want from a game adaptation of a show like Knight Rider, like 20 years after it aired. Dang, now I'm really sad I missed it, man. Bummer. All right, that being said, let's go ahead. I'm gonna call it there. 2 panels done, 2 to go. Then this page is done. Oh my gosh, thank goodness. This page has been tough. I knew it was gonna be tough. I'm still not 100% sure. This one, like, I think this panel works decently enough, but this one, I hope this one works. I think it does, but it's just tough. Tough stuff. Oh, I just realized, okay, there's one more thing I need to do. And that is I need to do the border on his poncho. So that real quick. Catch you later there, Jordan. Have a good one. Because he was an actual character in the show. Really? No kidding. Okay, I'll have to check that out for sure. Right after I finish up here. Oh man, I'm so happy that the weather's cooling down. It feels so nice. It's 79, but it's not like super hot in here. It's nice. It's kind of crazy. It doesn't feel like 79, probably because like it's cloudy. Honestly, anything about below 80, like, below 80 is good enough. It's just I can't get below 80 most of the time. Okay. I'm going to wrap it up. I will catch you guys another time. Thank you so much for stopping by. This has been a really fun experience. It was a pretty quiet stream to start, but then people started coming in. We got to chat. It was good. It was a good stream. I really do appreciate it. That being said, I will be back on Thursday at the usual time, probably around 7 o'clock PST. I'd love to start streaming at 6. I probably could, but it's just a really quick turnaround for me. But anyway, I'll stream at 7 probably on Thursday. I'll be back. either wrapping this page up or onto the next page, which would be really cool. But either way, hope to see you there. Take care. Have a good one. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.